Hello, Assalamu alaikum, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the country where you're watching the stream from. Uh, I'm actually live on multiple platforms. I'm live on my YouTube channel, I'm live on my Facebook page, I'm live on Being Guru's page, and I'm also live inside Let's Talk English with Hisham Facebook group. So, the video is about a question, and it's a very important question asked of me as a trainer. And Akash from Mumbai, India, is asking a question that how to overcome the fear of failure. And it's not just Akash who has asked this question. Many people, since I'm a trainer who teaches online about the importance of learning freelancing skills. I teach blogging, I teach uh, YouTube, I teach digital marketing, social media marketing, digital products. As a freelancer who has been doing it for a long period of time, over 2 decades precisely, as someone who has not only made a name for himself but also for his country. Uh, when I train people, there's a common attribute I've noticed, which falls back to inability of students to get started. Now, this inability is by large attributed to their fear of failure. And I keep bumping across these inbox messages that I'm so afraid to give it a try. I don't want to uh, waste my time by offering my services as a freelance web developer, by offering my services as a freelance graphic designer. I don't want to open a blog fearing that nobody will read my blog post. Um, yeah, yeah, exactly. A lot of people have these problems. I'm going to highlight your questions here on the screen. So, and then most importantly, the fear of competition, the fear of unknown stops people from growing. In this video, I'm going to talk about some important things you can learn and apply because I am no exception. 2 decades back, when I started thinking about starting my career as a freelancer on different freelance marketplaces, I came across same thoughts as well. I was afraid of not only giving it a fair try, but I was overwhelmingly worried about the repercussions, the response. What if I fail? I'm going to let myself down in my own eyes, and I'm going to, people are going to laugh at me. The fear of what people, think and say about you is the biggest fear that has buried so many aspiring ideas surfacing up on this planet Earth. There's a book called Five Regrets of Dying, and it's written by an Australian nurse. And in the book, she talks about five different regrets of patients who were suffering from a terminally ill diseases. And as a caretaker, as a nurse who was supposed to look after all those ailing, patients who were in a miserable condition, and doctors have, they're given up on such patients. So she came up with an idea of having a word with each of her patient and recording their thoughts in a written form. And later on, she compiled those thoughts in a book format. And one of the regret of The common regret of every patient was, I wish I could have done this a lot better. I wish I could have been happier. I wish I would have just done it, my way, rather than thinking about what people will uh, think about me, what they will say on my back. I wish I'd spent more time with my friends. I wish, the fifth one, I would have done what I wanted to do in my life. Now, this last thing, I wish I would have done what I wanted to do in my life, is actually heartbreaking. A lot of us aspire for big things in our life, but few of us only end up getting our hands down in trying those things, because it requires a lot of courage, it requires a lot of patience, and most importantly, it requires decision making ability. It requires you to take a risk, and of course, then it requires you to take a decision, and then after decision, most importantly, you're not sure about the outcome of that particular thing you attempt. So, my advice to everybody is, if you are one of those who are afraid of giving it a try, who are afraid of results, who are afraid of failure, who are afraid of making a decision, who are afraid of taking a risk, read this book, Five Regrets of Dying. If I had paid attention to what uh, people would talk about me on my back when I started my career as a social media influencer on Facebook, on LinkedIn, knowing that people actually laugh on my videos. But that's fine. Everybody's got a right to voice their opinion. And once you understand that every individual is different, once you understand that you got to do what you got to do, regardless of what people think about you, when you spend time in doing something because you know you are passionate about it, you know you love doing it, and don't pay much attention to people's opinion about your activities, uh, then you're by large generally destined to make a decision and most probably continue doing that thing. I'm not talking about a professional life, I'm not even touching the personal life here. It could be anything. For example, let's just take our childhood example. As a young teenager, I loved playing football. I loved playing cricket. I loved playing tennis. And I would spend hours after hours, regardless of the uh, weather temperature, sizzling heat of Rawalpindi in summers, or sometimes the temperature would drop below zero in winters. But regardless of external factors, I was focused, just like any teenager would be, in playing my sports. What does this tell you? This tells you that if you enjoy doing something, if you are loving something, if you are passionate about something, you just don't pay attention to any external factor. And the fear of failure, the fear of negative outcome, the fear of what people will talk about you on your back, it's all external factors. But just because, maybe, perhaps, thinking out loud, maybe because you are not in love with what you do, maybe because you do not enjoy your work, uh, you're worried about those external factors, which should not even be a point of concern. So that's one thing to look at. And the second advice to all those who are afraid of giving it a try is, you will never learn if you are good at something unless you actively do it. You'll never learn this. So I was afraid of offering my services as a freelancer because as a young teenager who had been hardly out of Punjab in Pakistan, leave alone the country, it was hard to converse with foreigners in English, written as well as oral communication. So whenever a client would ask me to appear on a cam and uh, call them, or for having a voice conversation, I wish that I could disappear from the face of the planet because this was the last thing I was comfortable at. I mean, English is not my first language, and same goes for people of third world countries. It's not our primary language. And to learn this and to muster up the courage and come out of your fear and have a conversation, have a dialogue, have a voice call, and talk at length about a project requires a lot of confidence. I didn't have this because I didn't even know the language. So the only way I could challenge myself to aspire for freelancing career was to overcome my fear, and the fear was of speaking and writing English. So I started, doing these little exercises, appearing in front of mirror, doing role plays of sometimes a movie actor who has won an Oscar. I'm pretty good at acting, as you can see from this video as well. And sometimes I would act up as a player who has won a Man of the Match award as a cricketer because cricket is my favorite sport. I love playing cricket. That's something I enjoy the most. And then, by exercising it, I just got better at oral, spoken English as well as written English. Practice makes one perfect. What does this tell us? This tells us that unless and until you face your fear, you will never have that focus which is required to, gain the confidence and probably overcoming that fear. Facing your fear is the only solution here. And same goes for my public speaking fear. You know what? One of the biggest fear is the stage fright. People die when they are asked to appear in front of a capacity crowd and talk about something. It's a fear, stage fear, this fear of public speaking. And I had this fear when I initially 4 years back when I was invited to speak at different universities. I could not even sleep all through the night. Before the event's day, before the D day, I could not even sleep through the night, tossing in my bed left and right because I was so anxious, worrying about how will I perform, what will people think about me, and how will they behave. Now, that's something which was an external factor. And I, honestly speaking, now when I look back at all those years, that's something I should not even be worried about. Nobody should be worried about because they are all external factors not in your control. But just by facing your fear, by practicing it, you gradually begin to get better at it. So one outing in front of a capacity crowd with a shaky performance and repeating it every now and then not only helped me in building my confidence, but it also helped me in speaking better with my body language supporting my words. You see a lot of presenters absolutely all over the place when uh, when you listen to them. And one sign of nervousness is their body language. Their It just doesn't support their words. What is the solution? The solution is fear. Face this fear. Start practicing it, and practice makes one perfect. I used to record a lot of my videos. I used to perform in front of mirror in my bedroom, and over a period of time, somehow I got so good at it that at times, whenever I was invited at a university, I would even forget that I've got a event tomorrow. That's how I that's how comfortable I got inside my skin with this public speaking thing. Your fear is only a fear as long as you do not face it, folks. So if you want to overcome the fear of failure, start, uh, you know, putting your hands down to whatever is bugging you. Uh, Gradually, you'll get better at it. Once you start practicing it, uh, you will learn that particular thing, keep improving over a period of time. And when you're comfortable around your spot, over a period of time, you will not only build up a confidence of trying new avenues, but there's a good chance that by repeating the same exercise, facing your fear, you probably might just ace at that front as well. So here's my advice for everybody. If you are afraid of something, face it. It's okay if you fail. Assess the reason of your failure. And after assessing the reason of your failure, you'll find out that here are the drawbacks, here are the pros and cons of all this thing. And if there's something you find yourself falling short of an idea, you can always overcome by practicing it. And practice is the only key here to improve yourself, and most probably in obtaining the results you desire for. So failure is not even something you should be worried about because it's an external factor. It's not in your control. But if you fail, assess the reason of your failure and come back even more stronger with the hope and aspiration that this time around you're going to ace at that thing. That's how you keep building the confidence. Take care, folks. And by the way, Being Guru 2.0 training is about to start. Uh, it's actually starting on Monday, the coming Monday. And it's a free training if you want to learn freelancing, if you want to learn digital marketing, if you want to learn social media marketing, blogging, YouTube, copywriting, um, digital products. Click on the link given in the description of this video. Sign up. The trainings are going to be they're going to uh, be on my YouTube channel, not anywhere else. Being Guru 2.0. It's an English channel with a lot of English audience, a lot of foreigners here. So far, we've got like 48% of people just from Pakistan, and the 52% of the people are coming from all over the world. India, Sri Lanka, Philippines, Taiwan, Turkey, Australia, New Zealand, a lot of US students, uh, South Africa, that's a surprise. Zimbabwe, that's also a surprise. Myanmar, I don't know where is that. Myanmar, a lot of people have actually signed up from Myanmar, or whatever it is. So the training is going to be in English. If you got a problem, don't sign up. But if you want to learn, because English is an international business language, and somehow if you can overcome your fear by attending these classes, taking notes, who knows? You might just Join the next wave of internet millionaires. Bye bye.